Scene is set for Perth by night. Um, Archer is finishing up some rituals that were asked of him to do by Rafat. Maybe he might have made objections, potentially, except for Rafat came with lots and lots and lots of blood, including, and some of the rituals would benefit him. In fact, Archer seems to be locked in there way longer than needed. He's got a big old sack of dirt, and he's preparing for horrible, horrible eventualities. But when he comes out, Rafat will nod. Good. I want to have a chat with you about one or two things. I hope everything went well.
It went well enough.
And he'll hand over in a scabbard knife. It's like, here you go. As I said I'd do. It should come in handy. Hopefully it won't have to be used anytime soon. I've kept my own sheeted more often than not, though I must admit I had an elder enhancing my own. I haven't had the time to accumulate the same level of skill as he had, but it should still hopefully be useful for you.
He'll take a look at the knife, hold it out, roll it over, and then just slide it back into the sheath.
It looks exactly the same as it always did, but well, he said he did something with it. Now, a couple of things which Ring of Guard discussed last Permanent Council meeting. One was that I raised it won't affect you, but if for some reason I'm ever not around, or if you end up sorry or chilled in the city yourself, keep in mind, we have a new rule that those who have not achieved the status of a neonate, at least, are not allowed to have ghouls. Anyone who obviously, any fledgling who has one at this point, they're obviously given amnesty because they had the ghoul. But it's, if someone hasn't proven they're at least a neonate, they haven't necessarily proven they're responsible. Of course, they may do well in the future, in which case they can start taking on ghouls. That's the first bit. Secondly, we had a discussion, and it was I who raised it to discuss it. Basically, it boils down to the privilege of every clan will have the details of contact details and such for every member of their clan's ghoul. Now, our new Seneschal started pushing that the Prince and the Seneschal should have this information, but I was able to... Well, he kept pushing the issue, and then I was able to sidestep and say that, of course, we would provide the information to Lord Remington if there is any issue in the event of my death, that the Prince could contact him, and we provided with it in short order. So, your thoughts?
You want to put our ghouls' identities in the hands of somebody else?
I do not. No. I do not. I was merely pointing out that perhaps there could be problems in future. We want to be able to round up those ghouls if somebody dies, which unfortunately it is inevitability that somebody will eventually die, for the protection of the masquerade. Because a ghoul who just recently had their blubber, or even if, and hopefully if it does come, it'll be in less dire circumstances, a situation where somebody, how to put it, if somebody gets knocked into torpor, then their ghoul will start looking for blood. We don't want them to go independent, as you might have heard of before. There's a few horror stories out there amongst our kind about such things. But the Seneschal started pressing that the Prince and the Seneschal should have access to this information. As I said, I declined. However, he was pushing the matter so much I said that Lord Remington, who is, of course, over all of us in Australia, of the clan. And to put it bluntly, I really don't think he cares about our ghouls.
What's the Seneschal's name again?
The Seneschal is Hannibal of Clan Nosferatu. Currently they're Primogen as well.
Interesting.
I'm not sure exactly what he was going for. I do not think he would have been pushing for it until except he was except for the fact he is the Seneschal. The Prince didn't seem to be pushing that angle. However, as I said, he couldn't deny that it was entirely reasonable for Lord Remming to be left with the information. Because, of course, he's not in the city, so if something befalls here, it's unlikely something will befall there as well at the same time. And unfortunately, I presented him with a very reasonable situation. I don't think he was too pleased. And the prince was quite impressed with your work, as was the sheriff.
Hmm. Well, that's good, but I'm not exactly 100% comfortable with my ghoul's name being presented to somebody else.
Like I said, Lord Remington, I don't think particularly cares. At the very least, I can say to him, I can tell him where I'll be placing the information in a very restricted area of the Chantry, of which no one but myself has access to here. But, well, if I die or get knocked into torpor and you get a phone call from him, or somebody else does, giving you very explicit instructions, that's another thing. But, like I said, it is for the good of the masquerade and the ghouls involved.
Can
I
you ensure that the ghoul in question will be protected?
You've seen Frank walk around here. You know he's my own ghoul. To put it bluntly, I only took him on to build a chantry, and my original intent was, once the construction had reached its final stages, to end his life, have him disappear. But when the moment came, I thought it better to have him here. We couldn't have somebody, even though the information had been removed from his mind through domination. Obviously, I didn't want to. I couldn't leave him walk around with the information somebody might be able to remove from his head in case I'd missed something. But he lives here. He's had to leave his old life behind. As I explained before, if you bring a ghoul in here for security reasons, they're not leaving unless they get embraced. And I don't know if you noticed, but I was a ghoul formerly myself. I do perhaps hold more worth in their lives than others. I.
I don't know if that necessarily would be the case in my situation.
What is the. If you wish to enlighten me, um, if you want, all you can do is leave me a phone number and a name, maybe a photograph. I'm not particularly interested. Your ghoul is your ghoul, your affair is your own, as long as it doesn't bring the chantry or the clan into disrepute.
Dextra is discreet, and she has been extremely. Well, she has been a model ghoul thus far, even though she's still very new to all this that is going on. But I didn't make her a ghoul to be a vassal, at least intentionally. Dextra had leukemia before she came here.
Well, unfortunately, we can't save everyone like that, but as long as she can be discreet, as you said, and she's being a model ghoul, then we don't have any problems in that end. Though, like I said, as long as you give me the contact details, I don't mind. But if at some point you want, in case you should get knocked into torpor or some such thing, she might panic. To your choice, as I said, as long as I get the contact details. But if before that point you want her to meet myself, I don't mind. It might be easier if there's a problem to reassure her. Like I said, hopefully, if such an eventuality comes up, I'm erring on the side of caution with this, preparing for bad possibilities. But As long as she's discreet and she'll help the clan, I imagine, to some degree. Mostly as long as she's an asset. And to be honest, if she's being discreet, it's not that difficult to be an asset.
Hmm.
By liability, I mean she's running through the street trying to talk to reporters.
No, no. Um, there's a certain affection she has for me that seems to keep her loyal beyond the bond of the blood.
Good. Don't Unfortunately, you do have to remember it can be difficult, and I think it will be good for your own humanity to have this link. But you must always remember that this Dextra is she'll never truly be able to understand. She might come close if given enough time, but unless she is embraced at some stage, I'm going to roll to see if he picks up on that actually. Um, I'm just going to roll his. I don't know if you're trying to hide it at all. I'm rolling to see if he picks up on the fact that, yeah, you might not want to be embracing her because you seem very weird about this school. Um, yeah, so I don't know if you're hiding it. I'm going to pick a subterfuge roll.
Let's see what happens. Manipulation, subterfuge.
Plus your status,
Oh, plus my status.
because I still respect your status.
1, 2, 3, 4. He seems indifferent.
Okay, so he doesn't become. Well, unless at some point you think she's of great enough value to be embraced, and of course you should get permission before you do such things. But she'll never truly understand. Keep that in mind. Um,
Yes, I am
but
aware.
but that's not a problem. Just make sure to keep an eye out. But if you seems like things are going well, so I'll leave the details in your hands. You haven't given me any cause to doubt you so far, so I'll extend trust to you in this matter, of course. Um, and of course, if you have any other ghouls that you're, well, as I said, unfortunately, you can't save everyone with a health condition. But if you do pick more up or are able to manage some others towards more pure utility, more conventional vassals, I would say, just let me know. But aside from that, like I said, you haven't given me any reason to doubt you, so I don't particularly mind.
Good, good. He'll bring up a small wooden box with a felt lining as he opens it up, and inside are the hand mirrors.
Excellent work. Um, these should be useful. I
He'll take 2 from the sack and place them in his coat pocket.
I'll be providing one to Tremere to Chantry, one to the Prince as a gift that should garner us a bit more favour, and the last one I will loan out to the Sheriff. Make it clear that, well, we have a good relationship with him. It's just if he were to fall into torpor, I don't want members of his clan trying to claim it, especially since there's only one other at the moment. I'm not sure if you've met Primogen Bagger.
No, no, I've been, as you've probably been aware, fairly isolated since I've arrived in the city.
Primogen Bagger is an unusual Toreador. Um, Obviously, I say this to you in confidence. I wouldn't try and say things against a Primogen, but before he was promoted, I remember at one point during combat, he started playing a fiddle.
Hmm.
He seems somewhat erratic, bearing in mind he is a Toreador. But there's no problem there in that end. But Sheriff Salvador has
Tried
been
for a charisma and expression.
okay. What are you trying to do?
Trying to see if I can't coax the Rafat's actual opinion out of him.
Manipulation subterfuge. Sorry,
Manipulate.
manipulation. Yeah, expression, I suppose. You're asking a little bit more directly, but it's definitely manipulation because you're trying to.
And can I add status into that?
You can, yes.
Right. Let's spend a willpower point.
Oh,
Two successes.
okay. Rafat, on the other hand, gets 3 successes, but he's still seeing as you're making the inquiry. Um,
What
well,
exactly is your or your true opinion of this individual, this primogen, with
well,
the
like I
fiddly
said,
complexion?
he's still the primogen of his clan. He is an innate. You may have heard of the previous Toreador primogen. She was his grandsire, and she was known to behave a bit erratically too. So, obviously, given respect that a primogen deserves. However, I try not to be alone around him. If I was you, I'm trying not to myself.
I try to stay away from most of our own kind outside of the clan.
Oh, you have to some degree. You might fare better in a coterie at some point, which will require you to mingle. But we'll see
I
about that.
find myself being extremely useful. He taps the counter next to his door. Right here.
That's quite all right. But as I said, Sheriff Salvador has been a good friend to us. So, to put it bluntly, people aren't always happy to see a Tremere in different positions or getting specific awards. When I don't think it's a situation where I can push it for one of us to get it, I push for him. If we can't have it, better have to have a close ally to have it.
Hmm. I'm very happy to continue any work that the sheriff needs, of course, you know.
Yes, unfortunately, he's been busy with a few projects. He works in a construction company, kind of thing, not buildings, but more special effects for movies, that kind of a thing.
Perhaps the prince needs something along, perhaps something encrypted, data protected.
We'll be having a meeting. I'll be having a meeting soon with the prince. I will ask that regard. However, there's something up that I'm not aware of, so relax while you have the chance. I might have some work for you before
Hmm.
too long.
Well, I'm currently working with the local university to try and, well, try and make myself useful to the mortal side of things. It's my hope that in the coming months that I can get some influence inside our local infrastructure, namely traffic cameras, things of that nature.
Not a bad idea. Well, I'll leave you to be about your business. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
In fact, we'll start to head off at that point.
Jack will simply walk back inside his room and continue to about his work.